Hi everyone. It's 5 o'clock, so we are ready.
Yes, sir, we are ready. So, thank you so much, sir. And with your permission, session, and I would like to start this session with a very wonderful quote that goes by happiness is enjoying little things in life, because the topic of today's session is succeed the happy in our way, no matter the challenges, rise higher. So with this, we have with us one of the eminent entrepreneur, best-selling author, influential speaker, and founder of the Happy in Our Way, and that is none other than Yogesh Chabria, sir. Sir, we are so delighted that on behalf of Chandigarh University, I would like to firstly welcome you. And we are so honored that we have such a great personality in front of us, and especially for the students, the freshers of batch 2021. And for the people and the freshers, I would also like to share with you that Mr. Yogesh Chabria has transformed millions of lives by helping people discover their true inner gifts and overcome fear and take actions. So, sir, these are the things that I have read for your introduction are the very important parts, because like in front of us, the youngsters who have joined us, they go through their lack of confidence and overcoming their fears and taking actions is one of the most important part. So throughout this session, we will be having session on these things, and we are so honored that we have Yogesh Chabria sir with us. So with this, I would like to hand over the session to sir. And sir, welcome to Chandigarh University's virtual webinar once again, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the kind introduction. Hi to everybody. I can see a lot of you, all of you excited. Welcome to your new beginning, your new college year. So before we start, a couple of things I want to do is, one is imagine we can see each other. So turn off everything, turn off your mobile, turn off your, everything so that you're completely immersed. And get a pen and paper. I always use, I believe this is the best technology in the world. So get a pen and paper. And before we start, I want you to make a commitment. Are you guys ready to make a commitment? Type yes in the chat if you are. I want you to make a commitment. And the commitment is, okay, you're good. Okay, Jaspreet Kaur, all of you are bold, brave. Okay, lots of people. Everybody's ready to make a commitment. And the commitment I want you to make is, if you find something I shared today that makes sense, that you believe can change your life forever, you won't just feel good, you will take immediate action. If there's something I share which feels, oh, this is stupid, just ignore it. I'm sure you must have gone in a marriage buffet earlier. We used to have a lot of weddings, a lot of events. You used to go to a buffet, you like something, you eat it, you don't like something, you don't eat it. So is there a commitment you could have from all of you? Is that a commitment I could have from all of you? If there's anything you feel like what Yogesh is saying makes sense, I'm going to take action immediately, right? If that is a commitment, I want all of you to say, I commit to taking action in the chat. I commit to taking action. I want you to make a public commitment. And there's a reason for this. There's a reason I want you to do this. It's because, we know everything. We know everything, right? Let's play a game, How many of you here know it's good to exercise? Raise your hands virtually. Or okay, nice to see everybody committed to taking action. How many of us know, not I will try to commit taking actions? Yeah, I will take action, Somebody said I will try to commit taking it. Go it. Okay, everybody knows. So if we do it in a public, we have around 350, 400 people right now. Everybody knows, or most people know it's good to take to exercise, right? But how many of you exercise regularly? Suddenly, if you were to look, Suddenly, okay, Ritu says me, you exercise regularly. But usually, you guys at Chandigarh University are more active, I can see. But usually, if there's a crowd of 500,000 people, we do this. Usually, when I ask how many of you exercise, around 80 or 90% of the hands come down. That means only 10% of the people do the things, because we know everything, but implementation is, what's important. And whatever you do, if you exercise, your health will change. Nothing is going to change in my life, but everything's going to change in your life if you're going to take action. And I have only one objective today. Of course, I love to exercise, Aditya Raj. It's really good. It's really good for your mind. It's really good for your creativity. And it helps you work better, think better. It helps you succeed better. Yeah, you got to exercise. I love exercising. I love moving my body. How do I exercise daily? It's a habit. How do you brush daily, Anusha? Do you brush daily? It's a habit. You make it a habit and you do it every day, That's what we'll go into that. So I have only one objective today. And my objective is to help you achieve whatever you want to achieve. If you want to achieve health, you want to achieve material success, you want to, whatever it is, I want to give you tools to help you achieve whatever you want to do. Jatin Punj, I love to ride my skateboard. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, meditation too is good, So I'll share a bit about myself and to let you know from where I'm coming and how I believe you could change absolutely anything. Tanisha, walk daily. That's good. That's good. Used to play badminton. You can still play badminton. Jashandeep Kaur. So some of you might have seen currently what's happening in Afghanistan with the Taliban. And this has happened throughout history, partitions, challenges, these things have happened throughout history. And my grandparents, we belong to the Sindhi community. And when partition happened, my grandparents had to leave everything in Sindh and come to India, So they had land, they had gold, they had material wealth. But one fine day, partition, Ayush Thapa, there are too many questions. I will answer your question. I would love to answer all your questions, but there are 400 people. I'll answer your questions as many as I can. But so, partition happened and they had to leave everything there and they came to India. And I remember when I was a 5-year-old boy, once my grandfather called me, and what he shared has stayed with me. I want to share this with your grandparents left Pakistan too. Yeah, I think a lot. That's what happened. A lot of our grandparents, a lot of our ancestors came from there. And one day, my grandfather called me, and he showed me 2 pictures. And so growing up, we didn't have a lot of money. And he showed me 2 pictures. And the first picture was of Lakshmi. Who's Lakshmi? Can somebody tell me who's Lakshmi? Type it in the chat. Who do you think is Lakshmi? So he told me, Yogesh, what do you see in this picture? What is the meaning of this picture? So I told him, Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi is wealth, money, we worship her. He said, no, Yogesh, there's a deeper meaning. I said, I don't know. We are Sindhis, probably we worship her more than other communities. He said, no, there's a deeper meaning. I said, I don't know. He said, no problem. He showed me a second picture. This was of Saraswati. Who's Saraswati? Type it in the chat, guys. Who's Saraswati? He says, what do you learn from this picture? So I said, this is Saraswati, yes, as Aditya Raj Muskan is saying, of knowledge, of learning. She's got a, music, all sorts of knowledge, right? Goddess of knowledge, all sorts of knowledge and learning. He said, yes, but what is a deeper meaning? I said, I don't know. He said, if you look at these 2 pictures, the first picture is of Lakshmi. She sits, what does Lakshmiji sit on? She sits on, some of you got it right. Lakshmiji sits on a lotus. Yeah, Priya Kumari got it right. She sits on an owl too, but mostly she sits on a lotus. Yes, as most of you are saying, she sits on a lotus. And he says, a lotus, if you have money, you can build a beautiful bungalow, a beautiful villa in the center of Chandigarh, or in Mohali. Even if things are bad around, even if your roads are not so good, you can buy a beautiful car. I know guys in Chandigarh love cars. Don't you guys love cars? I know guys in Punjab. My wife is Punjabi, and I know guys in Chandigarh love cars, But anyway, so Aston Martin. You guys like SUVs more, I think so, no? Like the Mercedes G-Class and the Range Rover. Okay, so he says, if you have money, you can buy all these things, and you can shine. Like a lotus, even if around there is a marshy land, the lotus looks beautiful. It sounds good. Akshay Kumar likes BMWs, yeah, Lamborghinis. Yeah? So he says with money you can do that. But at the same time, a lotus is not stable. If one frog jumps on a lotus, if one wind comes, the lotus can be blown away. He says, look at our family. You know, we had all the material wealth. We had all the material wealth back in Sindh. You know, we had horses, we had land, but overnight, all of it disappeared. You know, we had to leave everything and come to India. And that tells us that material wealth is not stable. But on the other hand, if you look at the picture of Saraswati, the traditional picture of Saraswati ji, she sits on a rock. She sits on a stone. If you look at the picture, and he says, knowledge is stable. If you invest in knowledge, you can attract Lakshmi, you can do everything, and invest in knowledge that's practical, not theoretical, you know. What is practical? What you can use daily, what you can apply in your daily life. And this one thing, you know, where am I from? I'm from all over the world, Ayush. I'm all over the world. But right now I'm in Bombay. I'm in Mumbai. But originally, as I told you, my ancestors are from Sindh, you know, in a small village called Shikarpur. So he says, invest in knowledge, practical knowledge, and you know, your life will change. And if today, you know, that's one thing changed everything in my life. I always invested in practical knowledge, things I can use. So when I was in school, I never understood logarithm tables. I never understood trigonometry. Probably it's useful for somebody who's an engineer, you know. Probably it's useful. But for me, I never understood that. But the practical side of life, you know, both are important. I'm not saying Lakshmi is not important, both. But the way to attract Lakshmi is through knowledge. And knowledge can change everything. The knowledge of health, relationships, mindset, success, everything. Today, look at it. We are using Zoom, right? All of us are using Zoom right now. You're on Zoom. Do you know Zoom, which is knowledge, right? It's software, is worth much more than the top 10 airlines in the world combined. Can you believe that? Zoom with less employees, less assets, no planes, you know. Can you believe that it's worth much more than the top 10 airlines combined with each other? And that's the power of knowledge. And today, the world is moving more and more towards knowledge. If you have invested in knowledge, if you have the right type of knowledge, nothing can stop you. Nothing can stop you. And everything, you know, you look around you, you wake up your day, you know, you wake up in the morning. Most of you might be going on your WhatsApp, right? It's knowledge, right? Everything is knowledge. What is Anusha saying? Anusha Juneja, sir, but today, clearly, people who are not that little are gaining all the wealth due to corruption growing in our country. You know, Anusha, this is, I'll tell you about this, you know. You can make money through corruption, you can make it, but it's not long lasting. It's not going to last long, you know. And at the same time, you can also look at people who are making money through non-corrupt means. And if you opt for corrupt ways, you know, things are going to end soon. They're not going to be long lasting. I'll share. I mean, there's so much to share. I'll share something with you. If you look at anybody, you know, who has gone on that path, has not been able to build long-term wealth or happiness. You can make money, but what's the use if you take sleeping pills at night? What's the use if your kids are drug addicts, you know? What's the use? There's no use of that, you know? So if you want to build long-term wealth, do it honestly, do it ethically, and you can make money anywhere. I believe if you're ethical, honest, you know, we are blessed with a beautiful country. And it's also perspective. Remind me, Anusha, about something known as the RAS, you know. It will refer to what, so many, Vijay Mali, it's there, it's a cycle, you know. I believe in karma. If you believe in karma, if you do good, good comes back to you. There's so much good also happening, and it's what you look at, you know. There's a lot of good also happening in our country. There's a lot of bad happening, like everywhere, you know. Good and bad coexist. So this is something that really stayed with me. This is what my grandfather told me, and immediately, you know, when we learn something, if we practically start applying it, our life changes. I'll tell you how. How to ignore people discouraging you. Surya Mishra. People are always going to discourage you, Surya. You know, they're always going to discourage you. I'll tell you how. Share about it. So, at the same time, you know, I also believe challenges or problems are beautiful opportunities. Every time, sir, we need Lakshmi to attract Saraswati. No, it's the other way around. I'll tell you how. I'll share a practical example with you guys. You guys are going insane. I love all the comments coming in. What are ways to stop procrastinating? How to eliminate the fear of losing? We'll touch all those things in the next 45 minutes we have. Okay. Does karma really work? Okay. So I'll tell you how this works practically. So, and I believe every time you're faced with a challenge, every time you're faced with a problem, it's actually a beautiful gift. It's an opportunity. I'll show you how. So I was born in the 80s. And in those days, India was a closed economy. What do I mean by a closed economy? You guys, we didn't have Uber, we didn't have Amazon. If you wanted to shop for something, if you wanted to buy a TV, you had to wait for over a year. You can ask your parents. I think your parents might remember. If you wanted to buy a TV, you had to wait for over a year. If you wanted to buy a phone, you had to wait for 2 years. And all these challenges were there. But in spite, as I told you, all these challenges are actually opportunities in disguise. And I'll tell you how. So I remember my dad used to have a job, he used to work, but he sensed this problem. He sensed there's this problem, right? If people have to wait 1 year for a TV, 2 years for a phone, this is also an opportunity. Remember this, every problem is an opportunity if you know how to solve it. Every problem is an opportunity if you know how to solve it. And if you convert your mind to think for solutions, you will move ahead. So what he did, he went to people in the neighborhood, he and my mom, he told people in the neighborhood, hey, would you like to have a TV? Would you like to have a washing machine? Would you like to have a VHS video system? VHS, in those days we had VHS. I don't know if you guys remember what a VHS is. And they would say, yeah, sure, we would want it. He said, okay, give me the money. He would calculate the price. He would load up his margin. He would take the money from them. With that money, he used to go with my mother, go to Dubai or Singapore, because in those days, Dubai and Singapore were free zones. You could just go to the shop and buy it. He used to take this money, buy those products, and come back. So he used to buy these products, come back, and he used to sell it to them. And in addition to that, what he used to do, he used to get other things. So what my mom and dad used to do, they used to get, Yardley powder, they used to get soap. And in our small apartment on the bed, we used to keep all the products. And I was given the task of putting stickers, So I used to put in stickers, and I used to observe, people from the neighborhood would come and buy the things, Anmol has asked me a good question. Sir, according to you, what is the definition of a rich person? I believe somebody who is rich in every way, rich mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually. And rich means, you could be earning a lot of money, but if your expenses are more, you're not rich. So rich is somebody like relationships, laughter, health, all those things create wealth. But anyway, I'll continue my story. And in those days, rich doesn't only mean money. It's everything, right? Life is not only money. It's everything, right? You need a rich existence. So anyway, he used to get toy cars for me. And I used to love playing with toy cars, and in those days we had remote controlled cars. How many of you love playing with remote controlled cars? Type me in the chat. Speak slowly. I can't speak slowly. I speak very fast. That's how I am, because I get very excited. Me, okay, you guys love toy cars. But you know what? Your mind is very fast. If I speak fast, your mind keeps up with it. Let me tell you that. So what I used to do is I used to play with these remote controlled cars, and these were with wires. These were not wireless ones. And but like anything, I used to get bored in a few days, right? Even you get bored. You get something new. You get a new phone. You get something new. You get bored, don't you? I used to get bored. Now, I used to get bored. And what I used to do after I used to get bored, I said, okay, I got bored of these. Let me go and sell it. So I used to go to my friends. How do we deal with jealousy? I'll come to that. Remind me later, Surya Mishra. I'll let you know how to deal with jealousy. So I used to take this to my, my friends in the neighborhood. And I used to give it to them. And I'd say, hey, why don't you test drive this car? And this, he started test driving the car. After 4-5 minutes, I used to take the car back from him. I told him, there's so many kids, everybody wants the car, but if you really want it, I can sell it to you. And so he went to his mom, dad. He says, Mama, Papa, Yogesh has this car. I want it, and, like parents, most of the times parents feel nice for their kids, and they gave him the money. And that's when I made my first sale. And it was like 400-500 times the price, because these were rare commodities. Toy cars in those days were rare commodities. And I had a lot of fun selling. I was 5 years old. I made my first sale, and I realized so many things. The first thing is I saw this kid was happy. I said, selling makes somebody happy. If you provide somebody a service, if you sell somebody something of value and they feel happy, this guy's laughing. I said, that's nice. I'm doing something nice. The second is the results were immediate. I made the money immediately. The third thing is, it doesn't matter whether I'm a guy, whether I'm a girl, whether I'm a eunuch. It doesn't matter. My education doesn't matter, whether I'm, studying in kindergarten or first grade, or I'm in college. My social standing doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether my father is a minister or a movie producer. Nothing matters. And I said, this is something I love. I love selling, and since that day I decided I'm going to sell. And that one thing changed everything in my life. And let me tell you, sales is a very, very, very powerful. Sandeep Maheshwari is a great guy, Siddhant. I love him. He's a nice person. So that one thing changed my life. And no matter what you do, you become an engineer, you become a doctor, you become anybody, the ability to persuade, the ability to connect with people, the ability to convince people, how to stop negative thinking. We'll come to that too. Some of these questions are common. I think I'll stop. I think I'll share some stories, then we'll take questions, because there's so many questions and this is a live session anyway. So we'll make fun. We'll make a little bit fun with the questions. So, and when I went to school, teachers had 2 complaints against me. Can somebody guess what the 2 complaints were? When I was in school, teachers had 2 complaints against me. Yes, Naval Ravikant from America. Homework. No, I used to do my, homework. I used to do my, you say, some of you got it right. I was naughty. Yeah, you guys got it right. I'm a naughty kid. I'm still a prankster. One complaint was, your son is always selling something in school. They called my mom. He said, Yogesh is always selling something. He gets comics. He gets things. He's always selling in school. And the second is, he's very talkative. He's very talkative. What did I sell? I sold, no pyramid scheme. I'm telling you guys, people think, if you do these pyramid schemes and all, look at what happened to Bernie Madoff, Never do anything unethical, guys. Never do it, because you're going to get in trouble. You're going to get in trouble, and you're not going to have fun. So first is selling and second is talking. But luckily, my mother encouraged me, my parents encouraged me. And today, those skills really help me. I don't know why schools don't teach these skills. These are very powerful skills, because if you know to sell, no matter, even when you guys go to get a job, you got to sell yourself, right? You got to sell your talent. You got to sell your skill. And second is the ability to communicate. The ability to persuade, the ability to influence your own mind. Understanding these things. It's schools all over. It's not only Indian schools, Ayush. It's all over the world. They don't teach these skills, but these are very powerful things. Okay, should we take questions or should I continue with my stories? Or should we do both? Both, okay. You live in, let's go both. Okay. Both, okay. We're going to do continue story. Both, okay, we'll do both. We'll do a mix of both. Okay, so this is one thing that I want all of you to focus on. All of you today to focus on is understand the power of communication. Because sales, I don't mean it in the conventional way. I mean it in your, no, don't be quiet. I don't like, they want you be bold, be talkative. You don't have to be quiet. We are a democracy. We are not Afghanistan. We are not under the Taliban, luckily. But no, jokes apart. How to so the first thing I want all of you to do is understand the power of communication, understand the power of persuasion. How many of you here know Nikola Tesla and Edison? How many of you guys know these two? Everybody, right? Which one of these 2 guys was a better scientist? Which one of these? Tesla, exactly. Tesla was a better scientist. Tesla was a much better scientist, but unfortunately, Tesla didn't understand the ability to persuade, the ability to market, the ability to sell. And unfortunately, even though he was a better scientist, at the end of his life, he died alone in poverty. He was poor, he didn't have money, he died alone in poverty. And on the other hand, Edison wasn't really a great scientist. He used to buy off inventions, and in the end, he became a successful guy, Whether this is good, whether this is bad, I don't know. But I like to look at the world the way it is, You got to look at the world the way it is. People talk about positive thinking. Positive thinking is important, but also looking at things the way that it is. Pablo Escobar, the drug dealer, what about her? What about Pablo Escobar? Okay, so this is very important. The second thing is how to be confident when you don't feel so. I'm getting a lot of questions. Who are you talking about, Rupam? Who is a genius? Pablo Escobar or Tesla or Edison? But look at his life, escaping from cops, it's no peace. It's no freedom, Elon Musk, right? What about Elon Musk? Okay, the questions are great. How old I am? I'm like the Bryan Adams song. The Bryan Adams song, 18 till I die. Okay, we'll come back to the thing. So a lot of you have been asking about negative thinking, your mind, right? I'll share something about you. In 2020, when did the lockdown start, guys? Can somebody tell me? When did the lockdown start? 2019, it didn't start in 2019. In March 2020. Yeah, I don't know who put you in lockdown in 2019. Maybe your parents. Maybe you did something super bad. I don't know. But it started in March 2020. Right? It started in March 2020, and I remember I love business. And I also love meeting people. I love, we had these huge seminars. I would like to invite all of you come to our live sessions. And we were doing a session in Singapore, and we had over 500 people coming down from all over the world. And I was super excited. I love meeting people. We have a lot of fun. We have music, we have interaction. We also have these retreats where we go in the jungles and, we really think about life. What can we do? And bring out practical ideas. And I remember we got a beautiful love letter from the government, and the love letter was not more than 4 people can meet. And I went crazy because I said, our seminars, we have 500 people. Even our families are bigger than 4 people. And in the beginning, I was upset. I was angry. I was frustrated. I wanted to blame somebody. I thought, should I blame the Chinese? Should I blame the scientists in China? Should I blame our government? How many of you know what I'm speaking about? How many of you went through something similar, Should I blame the bats? Yeah, everybody, right? I was angry and I was pissed off. Sorry for my language, Chandigarh University. I shouldn't be using such language with students. But I had a lot of colorful ideas in my head. I had like Nana Patekar. Yeah, Nana Patekar is a good actor. Nana Patekar is a great actor. He's a nice actor. I like him from the movies he did with Anil Kapoor. Welcome. How many of you saw Welcome with Nana Patekar in it? I like that. Okay, but coming back. So I was really angry. I was really that. Now, but at the same time, I asked myself another question. In spite of understanding psychology, having written books, I Sidhu Moosewala. Okay, he's better than Yo-Yo Honey Singh, right? Sidhu Moosewala. Okay. So no, he's not. Okay. Now we have a battlefield going on amongst the students because some of you like Yo-Yo Honey Singh, some of you like Badshah, and some of you like Sidhu Moosewala. Okay. So I said, okay, is this helping me? I asked myself a question. Is this helping me? You got to always ask myself, is this state really helping me? Is being a state of anger, frustration, is it really helping me? And the answer was no. If it's not helping me, should I do it? I shouldn't do it. So I said, okay, let me find out what pandemics are. And I started reading about pandemics. And I realized something similar had happened called the Spanish flu. How many of you have heard of the Spanish flu? You've heard of it, right? So over 100 years ago, something similar happened, which was called the Spanish flu. And I started reading about it, learning about it. And the Spanish flu lasted for 18 months. It lasted for 18 months. No vaccine came out. So unfortunately, people who could not fight it passed away, and the others built, herd immunity. Others built herd immunity. And I said, okay, governments are telling, 14 days, bang some thalis, light some diyas, but most likely this is not going to go in 14 days. Most likely this is not going to go in 14 days. And if this is going to last for 18 months, you got to change things, right? You got to change things. So I said, okay, if this is going to last for 18 months, what can I do? And the next thing I did was I started reading about people who have been through something similar. And I picked up a book called Man's Search for Meaning. How many of you have heard of this book? Man's Search for Meaning. Okay. It's a very powerful book. It's by a guy called Viktor Frankl. It's set in the Nazi era. It's a true story. This guy was a psychologist. It's a very powerful book. I would suggest all of you to read it. And one fine day, it's almost as good as my book, Succeed the Happier Way. It's almost as good as Succeed the Happier Way. But he gets picked up by the Nazis, and the Nazis pick him up, and he just has like one book, and he says, Man's Search for Meaning. Some of you could type it out. Some of you could type it out. All the guys who have read it, type out the things for the ones who haven't. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. So I pick it up. So he gets picked up one day by the Nazis, and they take everything. Thank you, Tisha Punjabi. They take everything from him, and he just has one book, and he says, my life's work is there in this. My life's research is there in this. Please don't take this. But the Nazis, they don't care. They take his work, toss it in the fire. He gets stripped naked of all his clothes. They shave off all his hair. They spray him with cold water. He gets, these concentration camp clothes, and he's thrown into concentration camp. And concentration camp is tough. He watches his loved ones being tortured. He watches his loved ones being killed in front of him. He gets food once in 5 days. He gets beaten up. He has to work from morning till night. 9 or 10 people sleep on a bed of 5 feet. And he's going through a tough time. But in the middle of all this, in the middle of all this torture, in the middle of all this pain, he has a realization. And the realization is that these guys, they can beat me, they can do anything, but they have no control over me, over my mind. I am free to think anything I want to. No matter what they do, they can't control my mind. And this realization changed everything for him. And he says, he created a vision. That's why it's very important for all of you to have a vision to do something with your life. You have all been gifted with this life, whatever you believe in Krishna, Allah, Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Jesus, the universe, whatever you believe in. Maybe you don't even believe in a higher force, you believe in nature. You have been gifted. Sai Baba, I believe all are, you are an atheist, but you believe in nature, you believe in something, you believe in science, whatever you believe in, it's created you for a reason. And you got to fulfill that purpose. You got to fulfill that reason, right? And he discovers a reason. And his purpose is, I want to share this message with the world. And he visualizes this. So he visualizes, he's writing a book, he's giving a lecture to people, he's sharing his ideas of humanity with the world. He creates this vision. And it's very important to have a vision. And he realizes in that concentration camp, you could make out who's going to die. Because once they give up hope, so people who have a loved one outside, they have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a wife, a husband, a child, a daughter, a mother, a father, a grandfather, a higher purpose, they fight for their life. But once a human being gives up their purpose, suddenly the shoulders start drooping, the head goes down, and within 5 days, 1 week, they would die. That's what he discovers. And he says, I got to get out. And he puts this idea in his head. And that's why I told you, remind me of the RAS. Before we take questions, I know you guys have a lot of questions. Remind me of the RAS. I'll tell you how that works. And RAS, right? So he has this idea in his head that I want to get out. I want to get out of here. I want to live. I want to share with the world. And one fine day, he sees dead bodies are being thrown outside. People who have died, they just throw them in a truck and they dump them outside. It's dark. Some of you might have thought Chandigarh University has invited Yogesh Chabria. He's going to speak all rosy things. But what is my qualification? It's life. failure, rejection. Those are the real qualifications, you know. But anyway, he sees these bodies. Yeah, I'll tell you, you know, that's what, keep in mind, ask me later what is RAS. He takes all these bodies, gets thrown out. What he does is, he goes and lies under these dead bodies, pretends to be dead. He goes and lies down under these dead bodies. And it's tough lying under dead bodies, you know? Really tough. You know? I hope nobody has to do it. But he does it because he wants to survive. And when he lies under those dead bodies, he can smell death, you know, rotten flesh, stuff. But he can't make a noise, because if he makes a noise, they're going to catch him and kill him. He gets thrown out, you know, and he just lies. And once these Nazi soldiers go away, he comes out, you know, out of that mess, and he walks, you know, somebody picks him up, he escapes from the border, lands up in America, you know, and shares his life journey. And when I read this book, I became so grateful. I was grateful. I said, here I am complaining of a lockdown, but I have to be grateful. I have my loved ones around. I have food to eat. I have electricity. I can connect with the world using the internet. I can learn. And that changed everything for me. Because it changed my perspective. And when my perspective changed, everything changed. You know? So we grew our business. We did a lot more things. And that's what you got to do. Make the most of the moment. Whatever challenges you have right now, convert them into opportunities. Whatever you have. We could take some questions, but I told you to remind me of something. What did I tell you to remind me of? Let's see who remembers. I'll take questions. I'll tell you. I think you guys love the questions. We're going to take some questions. RAS, okay. RAS, right. Let's play a game, okay? Life gives you lemons. You can make lemonade. You can start a lemonade franchisee. You can do so much. Don't just make nimbu pani. Okay. RAS. Now let's play a game. Look around your bedroom or wherever you are. Look around your bedroom. Let's see how many red things you can count. Count for all. हाँ बिल्कुल आयुष भाई, हिंदी आती है, क्यों नहीं आती है हिंदी, पंजाबी भी आती है मैनू, लेकिन यहाँ शायद साउथ के भी लोग होए, इसके लिए मैं अंग्रेजी में बात कर रहा हूँ. सिंधी भी आती है. Okay. No. Don't write it down. Close your eyes. Okay. You like my specs? These are anti-glare glasses, you know. Okay. Don't type it down. Okay. So. Okay. Close your eyes. All of you counted red. Close your eyes now. Close your eyes. All of you close your eyes. You counted all the red things. Close your eyes. And now, think of everything blue in your room. How many blue things can you think? While keeping your eyes closed, you know, pretend I can see you. Pretend I have a third eye that can see you. And I can assure you, I can guarantee you, not many blue things will come in your mind because you are focused on red. Zero, exactly. Now open your eyes, now you'll see. Now, what does this show? This is called the RAS. This system is called the RAS. Whatever you focus on, you get. That's why it's very important to write down your goals. Be clear in your focus. I love music. I love dancing. I love music. This is just an example to show you whatever you're focused on, you get. If you focus on opportunity, if you focus on success, if you focus on possibility, you get that. So whatever, and this is called the RAS. RAS stands for your reticular activating system. Reticular activating system focuses on whatever you focus on. Has it happened to you that you want to buy a new mobile, a new bike, a new car, and suddenly you start seeing it all around you? Has it happened to you? It's happened, right? Because your focus is on that thing. That's why when somebody focused on corruption, right? Somebody asked me about corruption, but at the same time, there's so many people who are making money without corruption. There's so many people who are succeeding without corruption. They're doing the thing well. And if you want to go to the next level, if you want to lead a healthy, happy life, you know, don't go for all those things, you know. It will take longer. It might take longer, you know. If you want to lose weight, you can do a bariatric surgery, you know, or you can take exercise. Yes, bariatric surgery might be longer, but it's got bariatric surgery might be quicker. That's like corruption, but it's gonna take, you know, it's gonna suck away your life, you know. It's gonna suck away your life. On the other hand, yes, you know, going to the gym, running, in the beginning, you're gonna feel pain. You're gonna feel pain. Your muscles are gonna hurt, right? I practice yoga in the beginning. If you've never done yoga, your muscles are going to pain. But over time, it's more long lasting. And you're going to live freely. You're not going to have a fear. You're not going to have any fear. I'll share an example with you. A while ago, there's a builder in Bombay. There's a builder in Bombay. And he wanted me to teach his staff, his team, how to sell. And I knew this guy is not ethical. He would sell the same flat to 2 people, 3 people, 4 people. And I said, no, I'm not going to do it. He says, I'm going to give you 7 crores a year. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. He says, I'm going to give you 14 crores a year. Why don't you teach my team? They do like 10,000 crore projects. I said, I'm not going to do it. And because I don't feel in line, because your team is going to use these strategies to sell the same apartment to 4 people. Of course, I didn't give him any explanation. I just said, I'm busy. And today that guy is in jail. That guy must be 45. But he looks over 70. He's got, heart problem, blood pressure problem. The guy's in jail. It's no fun, right? There's no fun. You got to live your life freely, and that's why karma is so important. If you're honest, if you're ethical, if you help people, you're going to go in the long term. Solve people's problems, So that's what are the RAs. Now let's take some questions. Okay, crazy number of questions. Sir, conduct a live session. I would love to come. Hindi में बात करें. कोई साउथ का नहीं है यहाँ पे. कोई साउथ का नहीं है तो हिंदी में बात कर सकते. या शायद कोई इंटरनेशनल लोग भी होए. Maybe there are people from abroad. I don't know. साउथ क्यों आप अच्छे हिंदी में नहीं.
We have international.
अच्छा चलिए. Okay, so okay. Since you have.
So the main question, that common question the students were asking, that due to pandemic and all the situation, as most famous question that I was reading in the chat box was that they have lost their confidence, and how to deal with that and how to overcome that situation, and how can they continue living the confident life. So this was the main question that the students were asking.
Okay, somebody saying Chaipal. Okay. 2 questions. One is confidence, and the other is jealousy. Many of you have been asking about jealousy. I'll tell you one thing. If you want to gain your confidence, if you want to build up confidence in anything, start doing something. Confidence goes when you don't do anything. I'll share an example with you. Now, many of you might be seeing me on stage. Yogesh, you're speaking. I saw you speaking with Dalai Lama, with, CEOs, billionaires, TEDx, whatever. But let me tell you one thing. When I was in the 8th grade, when I was in the 8th standard, I just shifted schools, and I was the only person who knew to speak French. So the principal called me, and the principal asked me, Yogesh, can you read poetry in French? When the principal asks you, can you read poetry? It means yes, yeah. It means yes. I share my birthday with Bill Gates, 28th October. If any of you guys want to send me cake. But anyway, coming back. So I said, yeah, when the principal asked you, can you read poetry? Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Tu parles français? Tu parles français? Sresta Mukherjee. Okay. For those of you who don't know French, I was showing off with my French. But anyway, he says, go on stage. So when the principal says, you got to say, yes, sir, right? You got to say, yes, sir. Ye French hai, Ayush bhai. Ise kehte French. So I go on stage, and this is the first time I'm on stage in my life. And I'm very nervous, But I think, okay, at least none of the kids know French. So even if I goof up, nobody will understand. Like Ayush said, which language is this? No, even no matter what I say, none of the students will understand, like Ayush Papa said. And Korean. Okay, that's nice. I had a friend from Korea. But okay. Do I like baguette? Yes, I like baguette. Turkish. Okay. So I go on stage. And in the beginning, I'm very nervous, and I'm not confident at all. My hands are sweaty, my legs are shaking, my voice is a little soft, when you're nervous. But within 30 seconds, 1 minute, the nervousness went away. Within 1 minute, the nervousness went away. And after that, I started enjoying the process. I came out of stage, some people made fun of me, some people, whatever, but I got rid of my nervousness. And one way to get rid of your nervousness or not having confidence is just plunge yourself into something. Just plunge yourself. Has it happened? You're going in an elevator. You see a good-looking girl, you see a good-looking guy, and you think in your head, should I speak to them? Should I not speak to them? Should I speak to them? Should I not speak to them? Does it happen? Just speak to them, What's the worst that could happen? Nothing, right? Nothing. You might make a new friend. You might make a new business contact. You might open up a new opportunity. You might find a life partner. So many things could happen. Don't be in your head, Don't be in your head. And you have one life. And the other way, you to gain confidence. One is plunge yourself. Whatever you want to do, plunge yourself into it. Why will you get slapped, Shobham? Nobody's going to slap you if you're polite. Nobody's going to slap you. Even if they slap you, what's the big deal? What's the big deal, right? What's the big deal? From 1 million chances, one, what's so? It's all in your head. Try it out. It's all in your head. Just try it out. And if they tell them, I attended the session by Yogesh Chabria, and he said, whenever you're on the lift, say hi. Just saying hi. Nothing's going to happen. Have fun with your life, guys. So that's the first thing for confidence. That's the first thing for confidence. Get out of your comfort zone. That's how, we as human beings learn, right? How did you learn to walk? Is it because you were afraid of falling? No, you just went. Sometimes you fell. So what if you got hurt? Yeah. How did you learn to speak as kids, You started with aga, giga, gugi, guga, gugu, gugu, kaka, giga, gugu, guga. All of you did that, right? So what? You didn't give up. You kept trying, right? That's the thing, right? Don't be afraid. That's the first thing. A lot of times people procrastinate because they are afraid. They'll go and watch 100 videos. They'll watch 1,000 videos of me. Don't watch those videos. Go and do it. Don't do this. Today, find out a few things I'm going to do. Say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell. Okay, start selling something. Take up something. Go in your neighborhood. Sell something. What's the big deal? The second is jealousy. I look at jealousy in something else. I feel you should convert jealousy in anything I use. Look around your house. Look around your house. Find something. Go and sell it. My 4-year-old sold stuff. Just go to 10 people. Pick up something. Like this is a book I wrote. Go offer it to people. Sell it. Eat almonds. Jealousy. I'll tell you about jealousy, guys. Jealousy is something that holds you back. Replace the word jealousy with inspiration. I love rich people. Even when I had no money, I love rich people because I would get inspired. If I saw somebody buying a new car, a new house, I would get inspired by them. I wouldn't feel jealous. A lot of times people get jealous. They make fun of Ranveer Singh or Shah Rukh Khan or somebody rich. I get inspired. I said, okay, let me find out. Let me befriend them. Let me find out what they did in their life. How did this guy end up buying this car? How did this person do aliens really exist? I love these questions, Chandigarh University. I love the questions you guys are putting. I'm going to answer those questions too. I love these questions. This is a very deep question, They are not rich. I'll tell you one thing. There's a company we work with. It's called the Hare Krishna Group. This guy's name is Mr. Dholakia. He studied till the 4th standard. His company in India, they are worth $2 billion. And he shared something with me. They have in Mumbai, in Surat. He's very simple. Very simple guy. And he says, when I didn't have money, I would look at people who are better than me. I would befriend them. I would go and ask them, okay, what did you do? Just become friends with people, who are on the top. So if you want to reach anywhere, you want to become the CEO of a company, you want to become a scientist, go and have role models. Have role models, people you can look up to. That's how you convert jealousy. You convert jealousy into, the reason you're jealous is because you want that thing. Isn't that so? Think about it. The reason you're jealous is because you want that thing. And if you want that thing, the best way is replace jealousy with inspiration. Get inspired. Believe in yourself. Exactly. Get inspired. So everything that's a negative is actually a positive. You want to become a CEO? What sector do you want to become? Write a mail to people. When I was in college, I used to write mails to people. I would go and give job interviews. And it's very important you start working right now. Start learning right now. Start investing, You're a part of this program, Beautiful, great. But keep this journey on. Keep this journey on. Pharmacy, whatever, write to the world's best pharmacists. Write an email to them. Go in the army, whatever you want to do, So that's how you convert jealousy into RAS. As I told you, Kumari Swati, RAS stands for Reticular Activating System. Whatever you focus on, you get. That's why it's very important to write your goals. I always write my goals, all the time. I share the system to write goals in my book, Succeed the Happiness Way, breaks down all the systems, Okay, more questions. What are the other questions? Let's take some more questions. Sir, what is your, how to get rid, selling tricks, Rupam. Rupam, we have I built my confidence again. Okay, lots of questions. Have I ever fired a gun? Have I ever fired a gun? I have fired a gun, but in controlled situations, Talking about firing a gun, Shishir Kumar is talking about firing a gun. Somebody was asking me, do I believe in aliens, right? Okay, somebody is asking, I failed at JEE, sir, how to study hard here? I had chosen a very tough course because I was much inspired by Elon Musk. Himanshu, let me